There's a lot to learn from this Joe Biden resignation dropout. I don't even know what to appropriately call this letter. I don't even know if it's officially from Biden or not. It's got his signature, maybe, at the bottom of it. It's not on presidential letterhead. It just looks like it was banged out in an afternoon. It's not written the same way that Joe Biden talks. But then again, you can't really force in and shoehorn in that many ums, ahs, and, back when I was, I got just so many old man tangents. But the more you look at him, it's kind of like an optical illusion. The more you look at it, the more questions you have. Not so many answers, but it's just one of those head-scratching things where it's like, okay, where was it posted? On Joe Biden's personal Twitter account. No mention of it at all whatsoever on Sunday from the President of the United States Twitter account. Very few other people, at least prominent members of Biden's cabinet, didn't make a singular peep about it, and everything was just churning over way too quickly to Kamala Harris to really come to any other conclusions that, is this that subversion of democracy that Democrats have been talking about all of these years? Is this what's playing out right now? Because now that we're here, a couple days removed and 6 days removed from the last time Joe Biden has appeared on camera, I mean, brother, we got some questions because Biden cancels 9 additional trips, extends his Delaware stay after dropping out of the 2024 race. Yeah, so he's going to be gone for how many more days? Okay, and the last time, it's been a minute since I've taken a look at any of those fictitious protocols for the virus that he apparently has. Who knows if he even has or not? We haven't seen any positive confirmation of anything yet. When was the last time you were supposed to isolate for 7 days for that theoretical virus? It's like it's been well over a year since even in jest, I've looked at any of those protocols, the ones that Fauci just made up off the top of his head. But if that's the case, and the last time we had a commander-in-chief come down with same illness, A, he was back to work within the next couple of days, and B, for as much as his party wanted to replace him, they didn't really have the sauce to do that. But Biden canceling 9 trips. Okay, so what's happening, man? And there's as a bunch of people rather are talking about it. Who's running the United States right now? Okay, because we'll check in with Kamala here in a second. It's just, if Biden's chilling out there in Delaware, is he calling the shots at home in the bunker where he did all of his campaigning in 2020? Or is he temporarily handing over powers to Kamala? Like, what's going on here? President Biden has canceled 9 trips that were scheduled over the next 2 weeks. I beg your pardon, okay, because he was supposed to address the nation in the next couple of days, but as of Monday evening, we haven't heard any clarification at all whatsoever when Biden intends to address said nation. Okay, Biden was scheduled to leave Monday for the West Coast, make stops in California, Denver, Houston, and Austin, but all of those trips have been suddenly canceled, the White House source had told the Post. But yeah, okay, those are supposed to be campaign trips, right? Up to and including parts of Sunday, but now because he won't be on the campaign trail, it's like, okay, I guess you don't technically need to make those stops, but then at the same time, if you're going to be campaigning for somebody that you're endorsing, you can't tell me you can't make a couple of those trips. But all right, Biden, who's been isolating with the Coup, I thought the most up-to-date precautions, don't quote me on this, I ain't no doctor or anything like that, and he ain't no president either, but I thought it was supposed to be 3 to 5 days for isolation. I didn't realize that we're running on the better part of 3 weeks of isolation, but okay. Was set to leave his home in Rehoboth, Delaware on Monday, okay, but extended his stay until Wednesday, okay, after announcing the end of his campaign the night before. Okay, so maybe we'll hear from Joe Thursday, potentially. Who knows? The source was not given any reason behind why the White House canceled the trips. Well, we kind of know what's going on here, at least a little bit. So, Biden's illness was not immediately connected to this to the decision. I mean, as presidential physician Kevin O'Connor on Monday said, Biden had all but recovered from the illness, but needs to chill out for the next couple of days, probably to get his political ducks in a row, because he's got 5 months left as president. We know that for sure, 100%. But it could also be 5 months or less. I'm not wishing for that. at all whatsoever, okay? I'm just saying, if this headline, if these inside sources or anything to go on, top Dems threatened to forcibly remove Biden from office unless he dropped out, set him up to fail at Trump debate, according to sources. But yeah, okay, cool. You set up Joe as the fall guy. That's great. And then you're replacing it with somebody who is categorically worse every single way you look at it. Were you trying to do that old trick where, okay, you go ahead and set the bar so low so that the next person that comes along, even if they do just stumble and manage to hoof that thing into the second row, they will at least look better in comparison because they aren't 80 plus years old? But okay, what do we got? Operatives at the very highest levels of the Democratic Party threatened Joe Biden with forcibly removing him from office unless he stepped down, sources told the Post. The well-orchestrated palace coup to stop the faltering president seeking re-election has been in place for weeks, but stubborn Biden fought against it every step of the way, a source close to the Biden family told the Post on Monday. Wow, imagine that. When I said, yeah, this just kind of seems, okay? The letter seems like, yeah, okay, cool. He'll just go ahead. He'll step aside at the end of this term, but he's not going to leave right now. Don't call this elder abuse. He's a willing participant. Part of the elaborate strategy to remove Biden from the race, as he announced, yes, in the shock letter posted on X Sunday. He didn't post that. He's not in control of any of those social media accounts, okay? Was allowing him to debate Republican candidate Donald Trump last month on live TV in Atlanta. During the car crash 90-minute debate, Biden appeared confused, slack-jawed, and at one point he froze up, several times, with his shocking performance turning the tide against him. Yeah, exactly. It was always very interesting when they made the announcement that they were going to be making those 2 debate appearances. Why is one so early before the RNC and the DNC? Why is the second one when normally it's the first of the scheduled presidential debates begin? Oh, because they needed to have a tester. They needed to see if they can go ahead and push Joe across the finish line, or if they were going to have to go with Plan B. Unfortunately, Plan B involves a lot of cackling and a hefty loss. So checking in at Harris HQ now, because she's going to be campaigning out of Delaware. Might as well just go ahead and just the wholesale take over the Joe Biden campaign, headquarters and all. Rip down all of the signage, replace it with your Harris stuff, and we'll figure out a vice president later. Have you seen the motley crew of individuals that they're trying to float for VP picks? Oh boy, it's looking awfully white with a couple of notable exceptions, and very pathetic. Like, if you think that J.D. Vance is a bit of a charisma hole, brother, you ain't seen that lineup yet. But we'll talk about that at a later date when there's a few more names that come a little bit closer into focus. But Biden called into Kamala Harris's first press conference. Called in. Now, that's very interesting, okay, because Biden apparently held up back at his house in Delaware, and if you remember, cast your minds back to 2024, cast your minds back from 2024 to 2020, where Biden did a lot of his campaigning from his basement. He still has, theoretically, all of the cameras, all of the set, and all of that stuff at his place. Why is it that he had to call in? Why couldn't he give a video conference? If he's all well and recovered from the coup, what is stopping him from, putting on a bathrobe? Because according to Secret Service leaks, back when he was vice president, he had a penchant for walking around in the buff. So couldn't they have just sat Grandpa down in a chair for a second, just wrapped him in a shawl and just tried to make this coup seem a little bit more amicable? No? Okay. President Biden dispels rumors that he's dead. Yeah, that's another one that's running around. I don't know for sure. I don't think so. It's definitely been a theory that's been floated that Joe's already dead. It is now the deep state running things. I'm not willing to go that far, okay? Willing to go as far as to say that there is something goofy about this entire situation, but to just go ahead and take that next step to say that no, they're just holding them up, Weekend at Bernie style. I just don't see any benefit to that at all whatsoever. Could he be knocked off after the DNC? Well, that's a totally different kettle of fish, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But let's hear what Joe had to say, right? Because, like I said, he called into Kamala, not on camera or anything like that, but there was some very, very frail sound clips coming out of the commander-in-chief. So he called into, Harris HQ to say that he thinks he made the right decision to drop out. Yesterday news is surprising. It's hard for you to hear, but it was the right thing to do. Was it really? Well, okay, cool. Let's just go ahead. Let's just play it. Let's just see.
I know yesterday's news was surprising. and it's hard for you to hear, but it was the right thing to do. I know it's hard because you poured your heart and soul into me to help us win this thing, help me get this nomination, help.
It was very interesting. Okay, yeah, because listening to his voice on that one kind of sounds like him. Could it be AI? I don't know. I don't want to put on my tinfoil hat for that one. We'll just say that it's Joe. But maybe the reason that he didn't want to appear on camera was because clearly he had ran out of Polydent and his dentures were just sloshing around in his mouth. I'm just saying.
Help me win the nomination and then go on to win the presidency. But you know, you're an amazing team. But we've got a great. I think we made the right decision. I know yesterday's news.
Yeah, I'm definitely reading the statement that's prepared in front of me because normally if I need to spitball off the top of my head, I'm a lot less coherent than that. But okay, cool. So what about when Kamala got up on stage? She speaks to Biden over the phone at campaign HQ. It's so good to hear our president's voice. And guess what? There's a trademark Kamala cackle.
It is so good to hear our president's voice. Joe, I know you're still on the call. And we've been talking every day. You guys heard it from Doug's voice. We love Joe and Jill. We really do. They truly are like family.
Yeah, no, yeah, that blank stare just off to the side where, I don't know, is there like something that you need to pay attention to? But is she just looking off into the distance and it's like, yeah, we really love Joe. Yeah, we definitely love him. We love him even more now that he's finally stepped aside so we can finally enact our plan. But no. We love Joe and Jill.
They truly are like family to us.
Yeah, and oh yeah, they're like...
Everybody here does.
Yeah. It's mutual.
I knew you were still there. You're not going anywhere, Joe.
I'm watching you, kid. I'm watching you, kid. I love you.
I love you, Joe.
Oh my God, isn't that so great? Oh my God, it's so fantastic. But we got to hear it straight from the horse's ass, right? Because it's not so much that somebody affiliated with Joe sent out that letter yesterday. We just need to go ahead. We need to go ahead and make it official, guys. Okay, asking, demanding, holding him hostage, one of his, I don't know, loved ones that still young enough to shower with. If Kamala does, in fact, do have Joe's full and total endorsement.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
And it is my great honor to have Joe's endorsement in this race.
You sure do.
Thank you, Joe.
Now, in listening to a few of those clips, okay, no, I don't think that he's dead. No, I don't think that it's AI, okay, because there was far too many vocal tics. There was a little bit of variance when it came to his cadence, but somebody as old and incoherent as Joe, it's like, let's just not take away the fact, okay? You don't need to go ahead and get any more superstitious, any more conspiratorial about this. We'll probably see Joe by the end of the week. We probably won't get to the bottom of this in any timely fashion, okay? Why he ended up just getting pushed out at the time that he did. Was it a momentary burst of salience going, oh my God, I'm 80 some years old and barely string this together. Okay, I got to be president. I'll get to be president for a full term and then I can just punch out at the end of this. There's no way in hell I want to keep up this charade for another 4 years. Perhaps that could have been the case. Or it could have been, as the New York Post was talking about, okay, Dems threatening to forcibly remove him, call for the 25th, run it through Congress. He could have done that. Or it was just simply the DNC coming over and go, Joe, thank you for your service, but it's just time to retire back to that porch. Okay, we let you do what you wanted to do for as long as you can. Okay, you got us over the hump in 2020. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Okay, you presented yourself as the moderate, and now they're so out of touch. Okay, because apparently this is from the Democratic Party themselves. They aren't telling anybody else that there's going to be any other candidates running. This is going to be Kamala's race to win or lose. Very much lose. Look at all of the polls, every single one of them. And so instead of having you get exposed even further this November, you can just simply go ahead, never lose a presidential election. Okay, you can go ahead and maintain the facade that you are the most popular president of all time. 81 million votes, can't be wrong. Pulling in a larger percentage of the black vote in Detroit than even Barack Obama. Okay, you can continue to hold on to the facade that you were the one. Okay, Barack Obama was in fact holding you back in 2008 and in 2012. Biden family can hold on to that mythology and they can let it all crumble down because, you know what, Kamala just isn't nearly as popular as Uncle Joe was, okay? Old kindly Uncle Joe placated a lot more to moderates than cackling old Kamala could. But hey, we already see the playbook materializing on the distance, okay? They're already, talking about the media here, they're already laying down the narrative that Trump now, all of a sudden, now he's too old, okay? Oh yeah, age is now going to be a tremendous concern. And Kamala Harris, well, she's black, she's Indian, she's a woman. And if you don't go with her, if you're not with her, well, you're going to be a racist, sexist, bigot, homophobe. You see that? You smell that? You hear that? Oh, it's looking an awful lot like 2016 all over again. And here's the thing. We've already been through this stuff, and we know how it ends with a very, very happy conclusion. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo, and should follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.